Hey, what's guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about SDS, all right? And if you don't know what that is, it pretty much means slotted drive system or slotted drive shaft, depending on which interpretation you work with, or maybe depending on which area of the world that you're in, all right? And if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much, in a way, a system that's primarily used for masonry work, okay? There may be other applications where that platform or system that it may be used, but it's primarily used at least for concrete or masonry work, all right? And a long time ago, Bosch, Robert Bosch Corporation, kind of invented the SDS system, and there's other interpretations. Someone told me a long time ago when I was working with somebody that it really stands for like, was it like insert twist lock or something like that? And that may be what it is, but you know, most of the people, at least in the Americas, kind of call that SDS, all right? And there's primarily three different lines of SDS, right? There's SDS, which was the original, then they got SDS-plus, and then there's SDS-max, all right? So SDS-plus and SDS are kind of almost backwards compatible, but the SDS-max is kind of in its own system. Anyways, the point is, Bosch kind of invented that, so we thought it would be good to kick off this new series with SDS, talking about Bosch, all right? So in this episode, we're going to be kicking it off with the Bosch Bulldog, and this here is the 18-volt version of their legendary Bulldog SDS system that they really had back in the day, and they made it cordless, all right? So Bosch has this weirdly weird thing about, you know, trying to name these Profactor tools and stuff like that with cool names or something, right? Like surgeon for the miter saw, a strong arm for the circular saw, and all kinds of fun stuff, right? But anyways, before all of that started, they really said the SDS hammer drills that they had, or rotary hammer drills, were kind of codenamed Bulldog, all right? So they built this based on their corded model. So we're going to be going over this tool today, top to bottom, and we're going to be putting it on the leaderboard, the first one on the leaderboard, with the 8 amp hour Profactor battery. So if you want to know more about this, stick with us. So this right here is a Bosch GBH18v-26D, okay, and this one has the EC Brushless motor and it's SDS+. It's allegedly rated up for 1-inch rotary hammers, okay. Bosch says this has legendary performance. It has superior impact with 1.9 foot-pounds of impact energy. It's got kickback controls. It's obviously the D-handle design, and the tool only is roughly 5.8 pounds. It has variable speed and it has a reversible trigger, which is not true on all SDS systems, so that's good to know. So let's talk about a little bit about the performance specs. The efficient brushless motor has a no-load BPM of up to 4,350 and a no-load RPM of 980. This works with the Bosch ProGuard dust solution, then is compatible with the dust extraction system. If you wanted to get that, the model number on that is the GBH18v-26, okay? It's lightweight, like we said, only around 5.8 pounds, and it's also designed to work with the core 18-volt batteries. This model is the SDS+, but like we mentioned, it's also backwards compatible with SDS. It has 3 primary modes of operation, which is rotary only, rotary hammer, and hammer. If you don't know what that means, we'll go ahead and talk about that just in a little bit, okay? And the pricing of this tool, if you get it as a tool only, will range anywhere between $150 to $200 in the US. Every once in a while, you will find it at a special for the tool and maybe a battery and charger for maybe like $199, but you know, that depends on where you get it from. So at least gives you a ballpark of where the tool is. All right, so this is obviously the left-hand part of the tool, and this right here, just kind of quickly take it out the way, is the depth rod adjustment, just in case you wanted to use that. I primarily almost never use this, mainly because we usually just mark it off all the way on the bit or whatnot, but if you wanted to use it, it really just inserts, so you press this red button down, and then you can kind of move stuff, right? So, and it kind of locks into place. If you don't know what that does, is pretty much once you get to a point, you can kind of set it to, you know, you want to drill that much or whatnot, depending on where the bit is, and once it hits that point on the concrete, it will stop because you won't let it go any further. That's what this does, okay? And in case you were wondering how you use that, it's this red button here. And similar type in like a Festool type fashion, most red buttons on a Bosch tool is means that you can do something with it, okay? And if you don't know what that means, it's, you know, festool, anything green usually does something. This, anything red usually does something, okay? So that right there is the depth rod adjustment. Okay, and this right here is a handle that, you know, moves. You can also use to hold it, but the way you adjust the handle or turn it is you loosen it up, then you can turn it to wherever you need, and then you can just lock it into place, okay? It doesn't have any like indexing positions or anything like that, so it's kind of better because it can infinitely put it in exactly where you want it. But right now we're just holding it like this, mainly just to hold it up there, okay? While we're here, let's talk about this. So this right here is a rotary hammer. So this little drill looking thing means that it's spinning, right? And the hammer means that it's doing that impact energy. So you get both if you set it on this setting. In order to move it to another setting, move it here, and that gives you rotary only or drill only, right? So you're only getting spinning. So in case you had something that you just need to drill through, I don't know, something like wood or whatnot, or you wanted to be careful, it's drilling porcelain or something like that, you don't want to impact that, then you could probably put it on there. And we'll go all the way here, and let's talk about the hammer function. So this means you're only getting that impact energy where the bit is hitting forward or down, depending on which direction you're using it, right? So the impact force is only here, and you're not getting any spinning action, rotating action, as you would here, okay? So this is used in a lot of situations where you want to do maybe more like demo and you're just chipping or scraping or stuff like that. That's mainly where that's used. And this little thing here is what a lot of people call a vario lock, which means sometimes when you have a bit in here, depending on where it stops, it's going to be stuck there. Like if this bit was here, it would be stuck here, okay? It won't spin. And that's kind of how you can kind of position your chisel in case you had that. But if you move it to here, you can kind of turn the chisel to exactly where it needs to be. And then whenever you need it there, you can just go to whatever mode you need, probably here, and then it just locks into that place there. So that's what that really does, just in case you get a little bit confused. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? So, but other than that, there's not too much stuff going on here. Obviously, there's a handle here with the, you know, the trigger, and it is variable speed. You know, probably should have locked it in place just to be safe. And then right here, it will say brushless, just in case you didn't know your tool was brushless, and, you know, you really wanted to know it was brushless. This is just an 8 amp hour Pro Factor battery here. Nothing going on this side. Pretty much the same stuff going on this side. No frills, no thrills, all right? If you go look at the top part here, this way means you're moving forward. There's a little arrow here moving forward. And if you go this way, means you're moving backwards, reverse. Not all rotary hammers have that. Back in the day, at least, nowadays almost everyone has that. So, you know, sometimes it may or may not be worth to point out depending on how long you're using it. But also, if you put it in the middle, right here, right, then the handle is locked out. Okay, so safety function there. In case you're wondering if there's a light on this thing, there is an LED light right here. I don't want to say I never use it, but it's in a very awkward place. There's other style SDS hammers that are much closer to the area that you're drilling, but let's say you got like a 12-inch bit or a 10-inch bit, which is here, right? Then the LED that's back here, you're not really getting that much visibility. So just want to point out there is an LED there. Whether or not how useful it is, you know, that's a different story. All right, so since this is the first episode in the series, let's talk about the test, okay? So the test is pretty much going to be, we're going to be taking a 1/2-inch drill bit. It's going to be a Makita 2-cutter drill bit, and we're going to drill 3 holes, and we're going to take the average of the times to get the performance, okay? The material we're going to be drilling into is going to be a poured buckets of 4,000 PSI concrete. If you've been following the channel, we have a few buckets of that poured concrete, all poured at the same time, same water, same mix, all that stuff. When we started the drill leaderboard, okay, or the hammer drill leaderboard, or whatever you want to call it. So they all been curing for probably over 2 years, and they all been curing inside, so it's going to be hard as it's going to be. And most people know over time, concrete probably gets harder as time goes on, but in this case, it's kind of all been the same amount of hardness, all right? But the point is, we're going to be using these Makita 1/2-inch 2-cutter bits that's designed for, you know, SDS-plus systems. We got a 10-pack here. We actually have a few of these. So we're going to go through and see how they really stand up, or all the SDS drills stand up talking to each other. And we're going to be drilling the first 6 inches of it to figure out, you know, try to make it, you know, all normalized for all the leaderboard. And we're going to see how that really works out, okay? So without too much further ado, let's get to it. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the numbers here. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, man, we had to record the testing of that, I want to say 4 times, mainly because the video was all shaking, mainly due to the vibrations of the impact. And that's something we probably should have thought about, but we didn't. So we had to record it a few times. Anyway, the point is, let's get into the numbers, okay? So we ran this drill with the Pro Factor 8 amp hour fully charged battery. Ran 3 runs. The first run, it was 19.8 seconds. Second run, 17.88. And the third run, 17.03. Average of 3 runs comes out to about 18.25, okay? This is in the class what we're just going to call SDS+. It's a D-handle style. And let's talk about the performance numbers, okay? Mainly because the impact force of this as it makes that impact is 1.9 foot-pounds, okay? And then BPM, which is beats per minute, is roughly 4,350, and the RPM is 890, okay? The weight of this tool without the battery is going to be about 5.8 pounds, and like we said, it has all the basic safety features built into it, okay? There is a dust extraction system you can kind of put into this or use with this. I don't have that, but if you wanted to get that, like we mentioned earlier, it's GBH18v-26D, all right? Why are we talking about the specs of this? It's not going to be too critical in this video, mainly because, you know, there's no other leaderboard numbers to compare it to. But we're talking about it mainly because we're probably going to visit it when we talk about the leaderboard and compare it to other hammer drills on the market, mainly because it will make a big difference then, all right? So we're going to say the total performance score of this tool is 18.25, right, which puts it in first place because it's the only one on the leaderboard, all right? So we have a lot of hammer drills to test out, mainly because we, you know, generally do a decent amount of work in masonry as a commercial person. So we'll go ahead and try to get the other hammer drills and try to figure out where they sit on the leaderboard, and we'll go ahead and test that out. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, stay tuned, continue watching, and I think we're trying to get back on a better schedule of releasing videos. So hope this videos helped you guys out. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, have a great day, get back to work, and we'll see you guys next time.